Hey everybody, it's me, Unit Z, and today we're going to be talking about One Piece chapter 1045. Now, I've been, you know, I've been pretty hyped up for Gear 5, and this fight is really good, but I have to say, I am feeling kind of disappointed so far. Now, granted, I could be proven wrong. This does seem to be the start of the next stage of the fight. However, comparing it to the last reveal of a brand new transformation, or the last reveal of a brand new power, being Conqueror's Haki Infusion, and Snake Man, I feel that this is almost lackluster. Now, don't get me wrong, I am having a good time, and this definitely gives Luffy a different way of fighting than normal. However, I don't know if it's necessarily going to benefit the series going forward. And while I do understand that this is a comedic series, I feel that bringing the comedic aspect a little too far into the fights has greatly hurt it over time. For example, I do know that there were jokes in Enies Lobby, there were jokes in Alabasta, especially even during the main fight, like Water Luffy, for example, comes to mind during Alabasta. But you can also sort of generalize that they feel like they were not in the middle of the fight. Now, granted, it's hard to treat this as a middle. It's hard to treat this as anything but the middle fight. But then again, you can also classify it as Luffy versus Kaido for real this time because apparently right now it hasn't been enough. So, he has to go Gear 5 in order to win. Now, watching Yamato and uh, Momo react to it was very interesting. Also, I'm not gonna lie, when Luffy did turn giant, I was like, holy crap, that's awesome. So there are definitely good things about this chapter. It's just from the constant hype that has been brought around, I really wasn't too blown away by it. So, nothing too bad, but it was still very, very good. Now, one thing that I think is being played up too far, and I mean too far, is Luffy's cartooniness. I'm sorry, I understand that it's goofy, but being goofy does not mean you are free from criticism. This is really taking it to another level and not in a, oh my goodness, that's cool. Like if this was a joke fight, like for example, Luffy versus Foxy is a joke fight, and I don't mind it being comedically silly. But this is versus Kaido. This is versus the strongest creature, technically. As far as we know right now, not counting Emu, not counting Blackbeard, not counting Shanks, all of those are irrelevant right now. What we are told, land, sea, and air, Mr. Kaido. Kaido. Alright? Strongest being. And it feels like a joke. And yeah, Luffy even says I'm having the time of my life while fighting this, but it's not coming out as something incredible or something truly fun. Like honestly, it feels like Katakuri was a bigger stepping stone right now. And having it be this comedic is starting to kill the vibe honestly. Because frankly put, this isn't the third chapter or anything, but we're still like, I think we're at least two chapters in because he debuted in. It technically did debut in chapter 1044, so yeah, we've technically only had it for one chapter. But I'm still kind of already getting sick of this goofy fighting style. And granted, it could be another situation where Luffy doesn't use Gear 5 too often, sort of like how he almost never busts out Snake Man. We've seen Snake Man a total of 4 times right now, and one of them was in One Piece Stampede versus Katakuri and twice versus Kaido. If you want to count them as two, even though one time he only threw one punch. So, it's gonna. But that's the thing. This is the main thing going forward. This is going to replace Bound Man when Luffy gets serious. So, is this goofy fighting style really something that I want super badly? In my opinion, So yeah, I'm rather disappointed in this, and I think it's already losing some steam, even after one chapter. And you know what? I get it. I get it. Oh, big new transformation. Let's all be hyped for it. But I'm not trying to be devil's advocate. I'm not trying to be, oh, Luffy's not as cool now or anything like that. I'm not doing this out of spite. I'm not doing this because, I want to go against the grain. Because I love Snake Man. Snake Man's my favorite form. That was the very hype transformation. We all know this. And frankly put, comparing it, even because I would argue that when Luffy used Conqueror's Haki on Kaido and first uppercut him, that had way more impact. Like, sure, Gear 5 is out now, but honestly, watching him, like, reading these fights, they're not as good as the fights when he was just using Conqueror's Haki and switching between Gear 2, Gear 3, and Gear 4. And having this goofy style, sure, it can be super stylized and super funny, and it's a good contrast to Kaido, but it just doesn't feel the same. I would argue this is probably the worst bout so far. These two chapters, this is my least favorite fight between Luffy and Kaido. And it just, it doesn't, it pains me almost to say that because this is the final fight. We are approaching the end of Wano, boys and girls. We are approaching the end of Wano, and this is how Oda plans to end the arc, with this goofy comedic timing that is way off. Like, if this were to happen, I don't know, I really do hope that later on we get like 3 or 4 more chapters of Luffy fighting, but it actually seems like he's getting serious. Because as much as you want to point out how, oh my god, it's so cool that Eiichiro Oda took 24 years of buildup and then threw it all away just for the sake of comedy because it's a goofy pirate manga. No, it's not. It is a goofy pirate manga, but the comedy has always been well timed, and that is the thing. Interjecting comedy when it is not needed sometimes is very poor, and I still have confidence in Oda. I'm still going to give this an 8 out of 10. So hear me out. An 8 out of 10. Because it is structurally very good fight. Just I am personally not getting behind this because of how I feel about it. I am not enjoying this as much as I did the other Luffy versus Kaido fight. So I will not give it the same score as it. And you know what? That's okay. Because this is a setup chapter. I'm calling it. Like, it is a fight chapter, but it's not the fight chapter. This is not the chapter that will end everything. This is not the chapter that is going to lead to Kaido's defeat in 2 more. Kaido is still going to be around, he's still going to be fighting people, and it's still going to be nuts. And there's not a thing you can do about it. So, I'm giving this an 8 out of 10 with a stamp saying, I hope for the future. Because right now, I gotta say, Gear 5, it's been kind of a disappointment. And please, don't think that I dislike Gear 5. I actually really like the way it looks. It is personally one of my favorite gears to look at. I like it, the look of it way more than Gear 3rd. It's just, I don't like the cartoony, goofy style. I get it, it's squash and stretch, and it's supposed to be Luffy using his imagination. But it's still not as good as any of his other transformations. Gear 3rd, Gear 2nd, and the only one that it rivals is Bound Man. So right now, if you're rivaling Dressrosa, which in my opinion is one of the weaker arcs, especially when it comes to transformation and power-ups, then I'm sorry. I am dissatisfied, and I hope that I am proven wrong in the future. Because Oda, I know you can do great things with it. I've seen Enies Lobby, I've seen Marineford, and I've seen Whole Cake Island, along with Alabasta. You have the greatest potential of any author I know. So I hope to see more from him. I will keep reading it as a passionate fan. It's just this chapter did not leave me very happy. Goodbye, everyone.